Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in the last video, I showed you how to make this simple player controller. So in this video, I'll be showing you how to make the player jump and how to make the player climb a ladder like this. And I'll also be improving the gravity a bit. So now let's start. So let's start by making the ladder. So for the ladder, I just added a small cube here and just increased its size like this. So to make the texture, I just have a ladder texture here. Just drag it and drop it here. So it should be a bit transparent. So now you can see the ladder is coming like this. So to fix that, if a new folder has come here, when we kept the ladder here, if you go inside that, you'll see the ladder's texture. So in that, and also the spaces are not transparent. So for that, from this change it to cutout, then it will become transparent like this. So after that, let's go to tiling, and in the Y let's set it to a good value, something like uh, something like 15 looks good. Yeah, 15 is okay. And now let's make the player climb this ladder. So for that, let's go to the scripts, and I also want to improve the gravity of the player. So let's go to the player script, and over here, this is what we have for the gravity. Let's get rid of that, and instead let's say rb dot uh, velocity, and then let's put this brackets, and inside that, for the x velocity should be 0, and the y should be the gravity. So for the gravity, we're just going to leave it to uh, y dot I mean uh, velocity. Wait, rb dot velocity dot y. This is for the downward force, which is going to be the gravity. And then for the z, let's just put 0. Problem here. T is equal to new vector 3. That won't work. So the problem is we already made rb dot velocity here, which means here this should be new new vector 3. This is what we need for the better gravity. Now let's see how the gravity is. Okay, so for that, let's just move the player to a bit of higher ground like this. Now let's run and see how the gravity is. Okay, it's still a bit too slow. So what we can do is I'll minus this by 1, and now it should look a bit like normal gravity. Yeah, this looks like gravity. That's more better. Now let's make the ladder. So what we need to do is we need to add a box collider to this player. Box collider, and set this to trigger. And let's bring the player a bit down here. So well, so we put this in trigger so we can detect whether the player is touching this ladder, and also make sure that your ladder is tagged to ladder. If you want to tag it to ladder, go to add tag, and you can just click on this plus icon and add one here like this. And after that, uh, let's let's reshape this collider. So let's edit collider by pressing this uh, edit collider option here, and let's take the back a bit here, so like this and like this, and this one a bit forward, so the player can detect more like this. So now let's go to our code, and here let's say, so since we have a box collider that's set on trigger, what we can say is void on trigger, and there are three methods for this, which is on trigger enter, on trigger stay, and on trigger exit. So on trigger enter detects whether the player is entered the collision between the ladder and the player, and stay is when if the player is staying with the ladder, and if it's exit it will detect whether the player has exited, so we need stay for this. And then let's put a bracket, and here let's say collider, only collider, and here let's say col. So this is used to see what type of object it is, so we can check whether it's a ladder that we are colliding with or on trigger status. So now what we need to do here is, let's say if col dot tag is equal to ladder, you have to spell it just like the one written in the tag, or else it will not work. Not square brackets. Okay. And if this means if we touch the ladder, we need to move up, and we have to move up only if we press the W or up arrow key. So for that, let's say if input dot get access, I mean, no, not get access, get key, we need get key, not get down or up, we need get key. So to detect continuous clicking, get key, and key code dot W. So if we are going front and touching the ladder, we'll climb it. Okay. And also we also need to check whether we are clicking the up arrow or the W key. So here this is for OR condition, and this is for AND condition. So we need OR for this. Let's copy this thing, Control C and Control V. Okay, and here instead of W, let's say up arrow, up arrow. And here what we need to do is transform dot translate. So this function is used to move an object continuously in one direction. So here let's say uh, transform dot up, so it goes up, multiplied 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 by 5, but this will go too fast. So what we can do is multiplied again by time dot delta time. So now it will work properly instead of going very fast. Let's go back to Unity and check whether this is working. Let's run. Okay, so now if I go here and if I and now I can climb a ladder like this. And now let's add the jumping, since we can't jump. Okay, let's add the jumping. So for jumping, let's go to the update function and say if let's copy this from here, and instead of w, let's say space space, and down here we just need to say rb dot add force. Let's make a new variable called, let's say, public float uh, jump force. So how much force we need to jump, and then let's go down here, add force, put these two brackets, and then here let's say transform dot up, uh, multiplied by uh, jump force. Okay, now let's test it. Okay, so now let's change jump force to something like 5 and see how this is working. Okay, I don't think it's enough force. Let's make this 13, same as the speed, and see whether this works. Still not. Okay, it might need some more force. What if I make this 30? Then it should work. Still not. Okay, so the value has to be more than 100, so I'll make this 300, and now let me see whether this works. Okay, we can jump. Actually, if we long press, the player will just launch like a rocket. So let's go back to the code, and instead of get key, let's make this get key down. Okay, okay, still it's not enough. 300 is still not enough. Make this 500. 500 should be enough. Okay, I think this is okay, but if I click it multiple times, it still goes up. So we need to fix this problem. So we'll be using ray casting for this. So ray casting is basically, it will just draw ray, So we need the ray to come from the center of the player till the ground, till some specific distance. So let's go back to our code, and here let's make an uh, and condition, not this, and condition, and let's add physics dot raycast transform dot position. So the first we need to say from where the ray should start from, and then at which direction. So we'll just say transform uh, dot transform this direction, and then let's put the bracket and say, let's say uh, vector 3 dot up. Since there's no down, we'll just say minus vector 3 dot up, which means down. And the last parameter we need to give it is the distance of the ray. So for that, I think 3 should be good. 3 should be a better value. And now let's test it. I'll change the jump force to 1000. It'll be better. Okay. Now we can't click multiple times. And that's it. If you like this video, please subscribe and click the bell icon. Thanks for watching.